Good morning, my dear students, and have a great week ahead. As we know that the holy month of Ramzan has been started, and I pray to Almighty Allah that may you all have spiritual satisfaction and eternal contentment in this holy month of Ramadan. So, my dear students, we are going to start a formal letter, and this is basically the reinforcement of formal letter because you have done a formal letter in previous lectures as well. So we are going to reinforce this by doing some things new so that we may have a proper command on how to write a formal letter. So learning objective is to be able to write a formal letter in proper format and using persuasive techniques. Basically, I have made you understand persuasive techniques many times in informal letter as well as in persuasive speech. So I'll just give you a brief recap of all the things. I'll give you a brief recap of persuasive techniques as well as the format of formal letter. So here we go. Before you start writing the formal letter, you have to take certain things, you have to keep certain things in your mind. The very first is be concise. Be concise means you don't need to write so many things, you don't need to write in detail, you don't need to write each and everything in detail, but you are supposed to be concise and comprehensive. Just try to write to the point things. Don't exaggerate your point of view when you are writing a formal letter. Why? Because you are writing this letter to a person who is sitting on an who is sitting on a designation, who is having an authority. So for we know very well that every person who is having some authority, he or she does not have much time to read some details. So they look for the things that are concise. So that's why you are supposed to write the things that are concise and comprehensive and to the point. Second thing to keep in mind is use the right tone, formal. We know very well that whenever we are talking to a person who is elder to us, so we should be formal, we should be respective, we should be respecting so that your words should show that you are talking to a person who is elder to you. The third thing is use proper format and presentation. They should be proper format, the format that we discussed in previous lessons, and the format that I'm going to repeat it today, this format. So you are supposed to be in the format and your ideas should be properly presented. you, there should be proper presentation of your ideas. Fourth point is present your ideas clearly. There should not be any ambiguity, there should not be any confusion, there should not be any problem in your ideas. Every idea should be clearly presented so that the reader or the person whom you are writing a letter, he or she should understand it clearly. And after writing a letter, this thing is basically to keep in mind when you are done with your letter. So proofread means you are supposed to read your letter again after writing so that you may find the mistakes, so that you may find that whether your letter is concise, whether you have used the right tone, whether your letter is in proper format and presentation, whether you have presented your ideas clearly, and whether you have used persuasive techniques or not. So in order to check these things, you are supposed to proofread your work. Now, if you talk about format, the very first thing is sender's address, that is written on left side of the page, top left side of the page, sender's address. And I told you the way how to write the sender's address in previous lesson of formal writing, formal letter. After leaving one line, you are supposed to write date under the sender's address. Leave one line. And after that, after writing the date, leave one line once again. Leave one line. Then write receiver's address on the same side, left side of the page. After writing the receiver's address, again leave one line. Then write greetings. Greetings means dear sir or sorry, not use don't use the word dear because dear is used in informal letter. In formal letter, you are supposed to write respected sir, respected madam, or simply sir or madam. So greeting. But before you write greetings, leave one line after receiver's address. After you write greetings, again leave one line to start writing the body of the text. Body means the whole text of the letter, the whole things that you want to say, your point of view, your ideas. Okay, after you are done with your body, again leave one more line to write the closing. And what is closing means? Yours truly, yours sincerely, yours faithfully. After writing yours faithfully, just put a comma, and again after give the closing, leave one line more to write your name at the end of your letter. So the I have written 7 points here. 7 points are written here, and after writing everything, you are supposed to leave one line. You are supposed to skip one line, so that there should be this is the proper format of writing the formal letter, Cambridge format. So you have to follow it as it is. Now if you talk about persuasive techniques, again persuasive techniques are so much important. And if you are using persuasive techniques in your formal letter, it means you are writing the true formal letter, because the purpose of writing formal letter is to persuade others. And how you can persuade other? You can persuade other only by using persuasive techniques. And yes, 10 persuasive techniques are given here. You are not supposed to write all these 10 persuasive techniques. Just you need to write only 3 to 4 techniques, so that your letter should be persuasive formal letter. The very first persuasive technique here is rule of 3. Rule of 3 is very easy, means you are using consecutive 3 adjectives in one line or somewhere in the letter. Consecutive 3 adjectives for one noun. Okay. Second is rhetorical question. Rhetorical question means a question that does not need any answer. A question, a question that is asked but that does not need any answer in return. And a question that that make you a question that lets you think for a while is called rhetorical question. Then repetition. Repetition means when one or more than one words are used in the body to reinforce your idea. One word, it can be one phrase, it can be a whole sentence that can be repeated again and again in the body to reinforce your point, to reinforce your idea, to reinforce your perspective in the body of the letter. Anecdote. Anecdote means whenever you are sharing your personal experience from the past in the letter, just to give an example of something, so that is called anecdote. And you can use this thing in your persuasive formal letter. Next persuasive technique is direct address. Direct address means you are addressing the person, whom you are writing a letter by using the word you. Like, you should do this thing, you are so good. You means direct address. You are writing you are writing the letter to a person the way you have to write the letter to a person by using this way, that that person is sitting just in front of you. Just try to use the way like this. So direct address means you are addressing the person as he or she is sitting in front of you. Exaggeration. Exaggeration means you have to explain the things more than it required. Some things, some points, or some important things can be explained in uh, persuasive formal letter, just to emphasize and just to highlight the importance of that thing. Next comes flattery. Flattery is a very important persuasive technique in your formal letters. Why? Because flattery, by you are buttering the person, you are appreciating and praising the person, you are admiring the person whom you are writing a letter. And this is so important, because if you want to persuade someone, if you want your point to be accepted, if you want your demand to be accepted, the first thing you have to do is to do flattery of the person whom you are writing a letter. The flattery and or buttering is so much important here. Talking about alliteration. Alliteration means using when uh, uh, some same consonant sounds are used at the start of every word in a line. When more than when two or more than two consonant sounds are used at start of the words in a line, that is called alliteration. And I am talking about consonant sounds, not vowel sounds. So vowel sounds, avoid vowels, using vowel sounds at the start of the words. To try to use much consonant sound, and if there are more than two or more than two same consonant sounds at the start of the words, so that technique is called alliteration. If you talk about emotive language, language means the language that is used to make the other person emotional. And emotional does not only mean that the next person starts crying. Emotions means that can be the emotions of sadness, emotions of excitement, emotions of happiness, emotions of anger, emotions of fury. So emotion means emotive language means if a person gets emotional after reading your letter, so it means you are using emotive language. The last persuasive technique that can be used in persuasive letter, formal letter, is undermine opposing view. Undermining opposing views means, or undermining opposites view means, if 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 the other person have a point that is opposite to you, if the other person has a perspective that is not relevant to you, that is not related to your point, so you have to undermine that opposite view. How? By giving more important logics, by giving facts and figures, by giving more things, and by emphasizing your points, so that the other person may be persuaded, and he may be persuaded, and he may accept your point of view, he may be undermined by reading your point of view. So these are some of the persuasive techniques, and you are very well familiar with these techniques, and you have been using these techniques since you are doing your creative writing, since you are doing your persuasive writing, and you have also been doing this thing in your class 6 and 7 as well. I am just repeating this thing. I am just giving you a recap of these things so that you may have a more clear understanding of how to write a persuasive formal letter. Next, if we talk about, I have here given a sample of formal letter, and don't go for the text of this sample. Just go for the format of this sample of formal letter, because format is so much important here. And you can see, like, in first two lines, sender's address is given. Then after skipping one line, date is given. Again, after skipping one line, receiver's address is given. After skipping one line, greetings is given, like dear, or anything like this. After greeting there is comma. Again you have to leave one line, and these 6 to 7 lines are actually the body of the letter, and you don't need to write the body so small like this. Your body should have at least 150 till 180 words. So after you are done with your body, and yes, one thing more, whenever you are writing a body, your body should comprise of minimum 3 paragraphs. So 3 paragraphs are compulsory. Even you can write more than 3 paragraphs, but minimum 3 paragraphs are compulsory, and the word limit of the writing the body is 150 till 180. So your body, here you will write the body, and after writing the body you will leave one line. Then you will give the closing remark, like sincerely, or yours sincerely, or truly. There should be a comma after this. Again one line will be skipped, then your signature or your name should be written here. So this is the sample of formal letter. Just don't go for the text of this letter, just go for the format of this letter. And yes, after looking into the format of this letter, now you will write a letter by yourself. This would be basically the independent task, and the topic is not difficult. The topic is, write a letter to the Prime Minister of your country, persuading him to take healthy measures instantly to stop the spread of COVID-19. So this is an important and latest topic, you may say. And when I was preparing the lecture, this topic came to my mind, and I just wrote it down for you, because I thought there is much ideas in your mind about this topic. You can write more things, because everywhere around you, even on media, on TV channels, on everywhere, you can see uh, everyone is talking about coronavirus, or everyone is talking about COVID-19. COVID-19 is actually the name of novel coronavirus. So everyone is talking about this. Your neighbors, your relatives, your friends, media industry, everyone is talking about this topic. So it would be quite easy to to collect a data about coronavirus. So that's why I have chosen this topic. So this topic is so easy. So first of all, as we know very well, you have, as you are writing this letter to a prime minister, so you need to do a little bit flattery of prime minister first. Then in second paragraph your body you will write the purpose of writing the letter. You will try to persuade the prime minister that what healthy measures should be taken, what precautions should be taken, and what steps should be taken by the government to stop this spread of coronavirus. And 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 what are the precautionary, what are the precautions? We know very well what are the precautions, because we have been listening to all these precautions, we have been listening to all this measures on TV since it started 2 or 3 months ago. So you can also get help from internet. You can also collect data of different countries, that how they are working on it. And especially you can collect data on China, that how China is working to stop the spread of coronavirus, because China is the very first country who was infected by coronavirus. And China is also the first country that is controlling coronavirus on a large scale. So we know very well that in China it has been controlled to much extent. So you can collect data from China, that how they work to control coronavirus. And then after collecting the data from China, or from after collecting the data about China, you can write the letter. And then you can write the letter to the prime minister by adding the data you collected about China, so that prime minister may be persuaded. And then this letter should be of 150 till 180 words. This the word limit. Basically this word limit is of the body of the letter. If we talk about the other things, the other parts of the letter, that is not included in this word limit. So you should use proper format, the format that I just discussed here. Here you can see in front of your screen. This is the proper format, and we have discussed it many times. And at least four persuasive techniques should be used in this persuasive formal letter. I have discussed 10 persuasive techniques, and yes, I missed one technique, that is facts and figures. That is also an important thing. You can use it. That's not so much important in formal letter, but if you want to use facts and figures about this topic, you can collect data from different sources to make your body powerful, and to make your body of this letter healthier and persuasive. The minimum four persuasive techniques should be there in your letter. So this is all about formal letter today. So I hope you have got each and everything. But still, if you need any help, if you have any question, if you feel any inconvenience, you can ask anytime. You can comment in the comment box. And yes, if you have got each and everything, you must share your feedback in the comment box. So thank you so much. Inshallah, we will be with you with a new topic, with a new energy and new excitement, uh, with a new excitement and with a new topic in next lesson. So up till now, fi amanillah. Thank you so much once again.